his research during the Montauk Project years in the underground bases at Long Island. He encountered a lot of alien races that were working shoulder to shoulder with the government. Actually, his room down there, his office, was next door to the office of the alien boss of the project, which sounded very, very interesting to me. And basically, I will be giving a very important input about the interface between the terrestrial secret projects and terrestrial secret societies on the American side of the ocean, with the same aliens that probably were working together with the German secret societies. So here's the microphone to Chan.
Do you have a question, Doctor?
My question is, let's do a little very brief introduction about, well, the differences between what we read in the daily press and the actual reality behind it. How would you try to make a point to our viewers here that basically very little of what happened in Germany happened because of the way it was explained to us in the history textbooks and in the official academic sources?
Well, there's been mountains of books written on the history of World War II, especially on the political issues and the fighting. But until recently, I haven't come across a whole lot that covered the magic. How did they phrase that? The magic politics of Germany. That it was actually an occult political society from one end to the other. This is extremely well.
The magic socialism of Germany.
Yes, that sounds right. We've got some material in books here that I can quote from, but basically my understanding is that Hitler and his henchmen went through a great deal of material, all the way back to Houston Chamberlain, who had written a book about Aryan supremacy and other factors. Let's see, there was a fellow by the name of Alfred Nordenholz, who wrote something called Scientology, which was a sort of an epistemology. He was trying to bring all these various sciences and disciplines together.
But it has nothing to do with L. Ron Hubbard's Scientology.
No, this was an earlier an attempt to do basically what Hubbard did.
Yeah.
Is join a number of disciplines and form some way to free man from that part of his reactive mind that was imprisoning him, keeping him asleep, so to speak. It's amazing, but there are a lot of strange corridors these guys went down. There was even a fictional book written by Boyer Lytton called The Coming Race. Now, he was very famous at his time as an author, having written the book The Last Days of Pompeii. But until this German thing came along and Hitler and these guys got interested, not too many people, I don't think, were aware of the book The Coming Race or Zanoni.
Yeah.
And it was about a secret race of super beings who lived inside the Earth, and they were able to fly, and they had control of an energy called Vril, V-R-I-L. And the German chaps took this quite seriously. They really believed that there was such a place, and they spent a great deal of time and energy trying to locate an underground area with the supermen. And that was one of the very important contributing factors to Hitler's fantastic socialism.
How about the secret societies? I mean, stories that you have encountered about German secret societies. Different names.
Well, there was
programs.
the Berlin Vril Society and the one in Bavaria, the Thule Gesellschaft, were two of the largest contributors, and I think they brought them together under one banner.
What do you know about these societies?
Only what I have read in this book.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it.
Because, I mean, in my research of German flying dreadnoughts, I realized that the names they gave to their dreadnoughts are not coincidental. The small 30-feet diameter interceptor fighters were called Vril, which in ancient Germanic language means the life force. And even the sign, the one bolt, not the two lightning bolts of the SS, but the one lightning bolt underneath the craft is the runic character for, again, the same life force. On the other hand, the larger craft that they built, the tank killers of the Haunibo type, had the electromagnetogravitic converters, the so-called tachyon drives. These tachyon drives were called the Thule tachyonators. So we see that these secret names come interwoven even in the hardware, even in the most advanced hardware that was produced by the Third Reich.
Well, the key to this whole thing is a gentleman by the name of Karl Haushofer.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a great deal to do with this. He was, I don't know if he was the creator of geopolitics, but he certainly had quite an interest in this. And
Geopolitics, one world politics, basically the first swallow of the Bush's New World Order boys.
Yes, well, he was also an initiate, and he was, according to this, it says, by divulging the secret doctrine, Haushofer expanded Hitler's time consciousness and presented to him a global panorama of Earth evolution, tracing the workings of the hierarchies of evil and illustrating the manner in which such powers have opposed the true developments of mankind at every stage in the evolution of human consciousness. Through such instruction, Haushofer awakened Hitler to the real motives of the Luciferic principle, which possessed him so that he could become the conscious vehicle of its evil intent in the 20th century. Now, I had long, well, for a couple of years anyway, I've held the view that Hitler was actually set up to channel one of these Luciferic entities. If you've ever watched him when he was giving his speech, when he was up there on the platform, he was really into it. You know, it's like he was possessed.
And his eyes were basically as if they were made of glass. I mean,
yeah,
he was in a trance state.
When he was finished, the guy was exhausted. His eyes would glaze over, and they would sort of have to lead him off. But when I got to listening to a lot of these modern channels or mediums that we have bringing all of this knowledge to us, I got the impression that that this is exactly what Hitler was, and Himmler was a mule, which meant that most of the time he was sort of dead in the head until some entity came down and took over the body and used it for its own nefarious purposes.
By the way, let's show to our viewers the book that you were reading from. This is The Spear of Destiny by Trevor Ravenscroft. Fascinating book that we will talk about a little bit later on.
Yeah, it mentions also two societies from Tibet, the Luciferic order and the Ahrimanic order, from the two deep caves in, I guess, in Tibet, what it says here. And
would this have anything to do with the Shambhala place, with the famous Shambhala place?
Yeah, one was Shambhala and one was Agartha.
So which of the two is the Ahrimanic and which is the Luciferic? It's probably the two sides of the same coin, but just for the sake of mental gymnastics.
The Luciferic oracle was called Agartha and believed to be a center of meditation which concentrated upon giving sustenance to the powers. The Ahrimanic order was named Shambhala, a center where rituals performed to control elemental powers. Now, as I understand it, the Luciferic order agreed to help Nazi Germany, and the other group, the Ahrimanic order, turned